Well, good morning, everybody. This is the day that the Lord hath made. We shall rejoice, we shall sing, we shall be glad in it. And as you can tell, I'm not at my house. Brian and I stayed over at family's house. So I am here recording and, just making sure that people get what they need to continue to move forward, as well as I need to get it out too, as well. So today we're going to continue part two of the scripture that I had, and of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times to know what Israel ought to do. First Chronicles 12 and 20 and 32, which is the King James version. And so I'm going to be talking about grown up moves. Um, at the time of this recording, we are in the fourth quarter. This is At the time of this, it's October 2023. So actually, this is the 15th of October at this recording. I don't know when you're going to hear the replay or later on. It could be later on this week, but today it's October 15th. So half of the month of October is already done. We're in that half point mark. I know this has 31 days, but pretty much the 15th is the halfway part of the month. So uh, time is waiting on no one. So it's time for you either you can make some grown up moves, or you can plan to make some grown up moves. Now, I know biblically, um, the Bible always has men is in charge and it's very male dominated. The persona of God is always as father, is male. And so I get that. I don't have a problem. But then Paul in the New Testament says there's neither male nor female, bond or free. We're all the same in God's eyes. So when I talk about grown up moves and when I see the children of Issachar, I see myself too, because the children of Issachar included everybody. So the adults and the children, but which were men of the constitution of them, they were men. So when I think of that, I don't just look at the male gender, I'm also looking at grown up, they're adults. They were full grown men. My first pastor used to have a saying, he said, in business, be men. And he wasn't slighting the women in any way, shape, or form, even though if he were alive, he'd be 100 and some years old. But, I've always come from a very strong male dominated family because even though most of us are female, we were predominantly raised by men because they only had one, on my dad's side, only had one sister. So even though they were just strong alpha males, my dad was so, and most of us are girls, so we're very strong. They raised us all. All of my cousins are very very strong people. They just raised us that way. They knew that we were girls, so and that's not really my talk today to really get into the whole being a strong woman because there's plenty of examples of that in the Bible. So God doesn't have a problem with female. So let's just get that on out of there. I'll put that right on out up front because Deborah said, "Now, really, you want me to go to war with you?" And that's a whole nother session, a whole nother time. But I'm talking about grown-up moves, meaning you're an adult. There are some things that you do. Paul said, "When I was a child, I spake as a child. I did childish things. I thought money grew outside in the backyard on a tree. I spent every dime I had because I knew there was a drawer, there was a wallet, there was somebody else making money, and I could get more. But now that I'm a grown up, now that I'm a man, I put away childish things." So, Sarah, sometimes you have to put away grown up moves. And I see so many adults that are still playing with toys, making childish moves that when they're older, it's going to have an impact. So, number one, when I say grown up moves, I'm talking about men, I'm talking about adults. And adults be men, meaning grown up, mature, making, and then number two, you're making serious decisions, lifelong. It's not whether we're going to eat vanilla ice cream and chocolate or, excuse me, Rocky Road or But a pecan, that's just a choice. That's not going to impact, unless that's the last $5 your family has in the house. That's not going to really impact the mortgage much or anything like that. But there are serious moves that you need to be thinking about. So that's what I mean, grown up moves. There are serious decisions that can impact your life. And I've seen people ruin their lives by not just decisions they make young, but they're making the decisions even when they're older. They're not thinking of the long term impact that it could have on their lives. They're just not thinking of that. They're just making using. There's nothing wrong with entertainment, and I love it too, and I love travel and all that. But their entertainment, but their mortgage is not paid. Those are the kind of the serious decisions I make. Making sure your bills are paid, but also investments and where your 401k and whether you're investing in the stock market, Bitcoin, what that looks like. Do you have a side hustle? Do you have another job, or is your job solely your sole source of income? Do you utilize your gifts at all? Do you volunteer? Do you network? Do you? Those are serious decisions. Those are grown up moves that can have an impact. Now, everybody's move is not the same. When I say live your best life, I emphasize your, because it can't be what I feel like is a serious move. And I've made some investments in my business that other people definitely wouldn't do. I've done some things, I've gone some places, I've experienced some things that other people are like, woo, girl, no, that I don't do that. But I put up my coin and I go for it because I know that I have a short time. I'm making serious decisions that I'm hoping will have one, well, this is really number three, but it'll have short term results and I can see it easily. I mean, by the end of an event, I can know. Yesterday, I was at an event in Indianapolis Public Library, gorgeous facility. But by the end of the event, I knew exactly. I made an evaluation when Brian and I got everything back in the car. We when we head back to go find some food, we're making an evaluation. We're making an adjustment on an evaluation of the short term results and what can happen now. Okay, we know what happened now. We know how much we sold, what happened now, the connections we made, whatever. But then finally, the long term effect. What effect could that have long term? And you should do that. They've got SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, that whole 9 yards. But you should do that it doesn't have to necessarily be a SWOT analysis, but you should be making those grown up moves, analyzations every time you do something. Was that really worth it? Oh my gosh, how much more did I spend? How much are my taxes going to be? What's my insurance? What are my bills this month? How much more have we, Big Mama used to turn them lights out. There's running up the bed, close that door. We not air conditioned outside. The long-term effects of what you do now. That can up on the refrigerator that held that little don't go nowhere just in case money. Do you have that now? You may not have a can on top of your refrigerator, but the long-term effect. So making some grown-up moves. What's your grown-up moves? What's your grown-up moves you need to make? My grown-up moves moving into 2024, I'm going to give you a little hint. He told me strategic, essential brand positioning. Mine are strategic, essential. Essential is the key word. Brand positions. Because I made strategic brand positions, but were they essential? They have to be essential because I'm getting older. I'm getting tired. Events is getting weirder. People are coming, they not. It's not like, we're totally in the virtual space. There's some virtual. There's a whole lot more people out here in business today. So essential. So I'm making some decisions up into that's a 2024 thing. And this is where we are. Ooh, no. Maybe if God hadn't returned, a 2025 thing. And I'm still alive and everything in position. Some things I got to get done by December 31st. And I've written a lot of books and done all that. But then there's some things, I'm not quite ready for that because I got this debt. I got this budget. I got this amount of money I need. I need this for this and this. Grown up moves. You ready to make them? One, got to be an adult. It's a grown up. This is even Michelle Obama said about the presidency and being running the country. It's for grown ups. So are you ready to make some grown-up decisions? Or are you still spending all your money in the clubs on the weekends? Are you still spending all your time, shopping every dime you have? And I'm a shopper. I love shopping. I always have, always will. But I can't spend every dime I have shopping. No, I got some grown-up moves to make. There's some serious decisions I have to make. I need some short-term results. I need to be able to meet my budget and meet my expenses every month. And then I want to make some long-term effects. I want to have some long-term impact. What my intellectual property needs to continue to my nieces. I don't have any children of my own, so to my nieces. So I want to have a long-term effect. I hope that helps you today. I hope you take some time by the end of the year, and I'm going to hopefully be going live. That's my plan if my schedule permits, going live, and then on the Live Your Best Life show throughout the entire month of November. It's going to be help for the holidays. And then January, already 2024, I have the people outlined and interviews lined up for to help you get your new year started. Let's start the new year off right, okay? And help you, hey, live your best life, which is coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk 24/7. And then at 11 a.m., the Spike Davis and Friends show. Tune in for laughs, music, and more. And then Tuesdays, I am pouring into people my 16 years of writing, publishing, promotion. We're still in the end of the the publishing, I'm sorry, season, which is season 2. And so we're still talking about publishing, and we'll be talking about that forever. The Lord helps us and keeps us in season number 3, which will start in January. We're really going to be talking about book promotion. And I'm really going to be stressing that hard because a lot of people really struggle with that part. The writing part, some other people do. Publishing options, they still do. I still see posts about that. But the book promotion part, I really need to dig down deep and pull that all apart. So we'll be starting that season 3 in January because we'll start with January on getting ready for book promotion. So we need to start that off and make sure you have your infrastructure in place and all that good stuff. A lot more to come. I really didn't realize the 16 years, all what I could say and have to say in a half an hour show, but tune in the Book Business Boss show, and then the replays are the Book Business Boss podcast.com. Coming up. Um, well, first off, if you need to have a conversation with me, please talk with Royston.com. That's the best way to do it. Yes, I do answer my own phone, but sometimes I'm in the middle of something else and will have to call you back later. Please leave a message, etc. But to have my undivided attention and you get on my calendar, I'm going to meet you on Zoom, record. I'm going to know what I said. You're going to know what I said, and I'm going to know what you said and what your needs are. So talk with Royston.com. Schedule your time. That's my calendar. Look at it and be ready for it. Coming up on October 27th and 28th, I'll be in Houston, Texas at the National Black Book Festival on that Friday, October 27th. I'm going to be speaking on publishing. I'm just going to say publishing, period, because people still, the title of it is self-publishing. But honestly, if you're the author, you have to determine your publishing avenue, and you really need to determine that on a whole lot of levels. So it doesn't matter whether you're traditionally, whether you go to an independent publisher like BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media, or you do it yourself, you're just going to need the guidance. And so that's what we're going to be talking about that Friday of where you are and what you need. So National Black Book Festival, Fallbrook Church, I'm there in Houston, Texas. I think this is about my 5th year that I've been there, and I've even done um, the virtual. But um, check us out. Come in. The workshops are definitely free. So if you're an author and you could take off, you got 2 weeks to ask off, come in October 27th. There will be at least 100 book vendors there, as well as a lot of books, a whole lot of books there. I'll have some of my books there, as well as my newly released book should be hopefully available by then. Write the book that builds the platform, builds your platform will be available too as well. I'll be talking about that over the next couple of weeks. So, National Black Book Festival, October 27th through the 28th. And then I am headed right after that, that next week, I'll be in Richmond, Virginia at Platform Builder Summit. Thank you for the invitation from Ms. Charvette Mitchell. That's November 2nd and 3rd. I'm speaking on the 3rd, The Power of a Brand Book. And so, y'all know how I am. I'm a little obsessive when it comes to writing. So, even though I have that topic, God just really placed it in me to put together a book of things that you really need to consider if you need your own brand book. It's not if you need, you do need it. If you're in business, if you're in ministry, you have a nonprofit, you need a brand book. And we're going to be talking about that as well as continue to be talking about the brand book um, even further on the book business boss show as well on Envision. But if you, there's still time to register. I don't think registration is closed, but check it out. It's platformbuildersummit.com. Visit the platformbuildersummit.com. You're really wanting to take your business to the next level. Charvette assembles a phenomenal group of entrepreneurs to talk about so many things and to really get the business owner prepared for the next year. She is a phenomenal brand strategist. So even though I'm talking about the brand book, you need brand strategy. If you need someone to help, especially your website and your branding strategy go to the next level, be sure and check her out. Platformbuildersummit.com. So I'm Dr. Julia Royston. Please just punch all my other websites and all my other online stores or at juliaakroyston.com. That's Julia A.K. Royston. There is two A's back to back, akroyston.com. So visit there. That's everything else that I have going on. And you all be blessed and have a phenomenal, not only rest of the day, rest of the week, and the rest of the year. Be blessed. Bye bye.